Cars and coconuts.
Cars and coconut without the coconut.
We are the coconuts.
We have car and coconut.
Yeah, this is episode what, 12?
I can't remember.
I also can't remember. We haven't done this in a long time.
Yep, and a couple of months. So
much has happened.
Yeah, so much has happened. The entire industry has been upended. I think that's the word.
Correct. Thanks to Tesla.
I think that's good because you know what? I have to say. You know the king of Formula, what's his name?
King of Rafizi.
Rafizi, yes. That's his formula, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, it's organic formula. It's like, I let a disruptor come into the market so that he be the bad guy. I don't have to step on the tails of the big dragons of the country.
It's a bit of a stretch. Because what he promised was cheaper MyBees.
Correct. You see. If a Model 3 comes in at 160,000, 160,000, that means BYD has to do 100. Okay.
Which they're doing with the Dolphin.
But here's the thing. Let's say they remove that 100,000. BYD Dolphin is going to be 90.
But without the battery.
Why?
How they going to?
Because it's sold at 80 in China.
Oh, yes, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if it can retail at 80 in China, you don't tell me it can't retail at 90 here.
Okay, possible.
Possible because you know why? The differences between China's Model Y is 30,000? That's for 200,000 car.
Yeah.
You got what I mean? That's 15%. So why can't you sell at 90 odd? Which means if Dolphin is 90 or 100, it is 100.
Yeah.
Which means X50 and X70 is supposed to get worried, but they're not. But are they doing the electric? I think they are, right?
They're doing the smart thing.
They're doing the smart thing, which some people are saying 130.
We'll see.
We'll see.
It's being sold in Mercedes-Benz showrooms.
Then your taxes is another 50,000 because Mercedes. But if you do that, you dumb.
Yeah.
You
die.
You will die.
Yeah.
The correct way, I expect 150,000 it will sell. No?
Yeah. Here's the thing. The reason why the Rafizi Formula to me doesn't really work with all these EVs is I think, I can't remember which podcast it was. I think the EV6 we were sitting and discussing.
Right.
You had a projection that it'll be how many percent EVs by a certain year? And mine was like a third of
We're talking about, you're saying that it's not going to happen. I'm saying that, when the sales happen and then people can't charge, then the business model to earn money from people charging on the go will be there lah.
So I still think that, a 90K, 100K Dolphin and a 90K Dolphin to the intended buyer is not going to make a difference.
My question is, how many of people out there are like us now? It's like, you know what? There's no reason for me to spend 90K to buy an X50 now. Why not I consider a Dolphin? How many? Because all of us are feeling like that, isn't it?
Not all of us. I can never ever consider a Dolphin.
Okay, because of your apartment.
Yeah. And a humongous percentage of people also live in.
If you live in a link house,
then you have to ask yourself, can I afford to have two cars? Because your only car cannot be an EV.
No, of course. Not your first car. Alright? But how many of us live in link houses or landed property and has two cars?
Quite a few.
Quite a lot, right?
Yeah.
And if I feel like this now, I'm not a pioneer. People are already in front of me. But I'm pretty sure many Malaysians will start feeling like me in 2 years' time.
Possibly.
So of course it's not going to overtake petrol car lah.
Yeah.
But China already reached 40% sale.
Yeah, but you can't do China versus Malaysia comparison because China.
US is already 10%.
Yeah. US you can kind of.
1 in 10, you know. 1 in 10, you know. That is considerable. And Malaysia is famously conservative when it comes to car.
Yeah.
Even in the pricing, we're just talking about it just now.
So I say, 20, another 5 years, and it's going to be 5%.
Here's the thing. Would you believe us talking about Chinese car in an aspirational manner 2 years ago?
Yes, because we did a podcast about it in TGG.
At that time, it's projecting. I said there is a possibility.
Yeah.
I will not do it at that time. But in 2 years down the road, look at that. Look at us talking about, I want an Aura Good Cat. I want a smart EV. Dude, that's a GD, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But now that Tesla is there at 199.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you're still. I want an Aura good cat.
No,
But
because
because
an
you
Aura,
know they have a price.
the price
pressure.
difference is
Yeah.
very big. Now, of course, if Tesla comes up with something to answer for the Aura good cat, let's say a Tesla Model 2, it won't be as nice as a Model 3, that's for sure. Then Aura good cat may still. I still like it, even though the Tesla is like 10,000 more expensive or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. But they don't have. That's why I like the Aura good cat. But that being said, I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know.
Yeah.
The charging is a real issue. But here's the thing. For those who can, electric car range may not be that big of an issue. Because I can pump petrol at home now. You can't pump petrol at home, I can. And if a car takes me a point A to B to C back to A every other day, then that car can do.
I still think it's a very limited
I would never.
scenario.
I give you an example. Let's say it's me here. I come here, let's say like every day, which I don't, but let's say I come here every day. Literally, my journey is so predictable. The differences every day is like 20 kilo at most. And I can pump petrol at home.
Yeah.
As opposed to having to look for a petrol station. Because I was going through my claims and I realized, all of it is this one petrol station. So the only difference with the electric car is this petrol station now is at home.
It's in your house, yeah.
Yeah.
I see where you're getting at, but I think the reality for the majority of car buying Malaysians is
They can't.
they cannot.
Because it's their first car.
Because
It's their only car.
yeah, it has to be an only car. For a lot of people, it's their first car. The subsidized petrol consideration.
Yeah, it's true because petrol is so cheap.
Yeah. So if all these things change, then yeah, okay, I can see it. But even living in a condo, they still haven't. We've been talking about this for how many months?
I was reading about Bobby talking about how his condo is in the process of approving fast charger. Until now, I still don't know how China does it. But your condo cannot.
My condo cannot. A lot of people who want it to happen. My condo is a condo where the management does not have a very good cohesive.
Okay.
To get everybody to agree on one thing, it has to be forced through.
Yeah.
And I can see how many condos in Malaysia where management doesn't have that much power.
They don't have. Yeah.
So unless it's forced through by the government, which is also difficult because condos are kind of self-governing.
Yeah. Unless you use the law.
Unless you force it upon them.
Or you make it incentivized.
Yeah.
Meaning that
you remove the subsidy and you say, okay, now you can do it if you want, and we give you a tax break if you install.
Yeah.
Then I can see it happen. But this government is playing so conservatively, even with PH in power.
Yeah.
I don't foresee any of these things changing. It's going to be business as usual.
We shall see. We shall see.
It's like an apocalyptic scenario in case.
But to be honest,
for EVs
if we can peek into how many units of sale Tesla has made just by that announcement, we can make a projection.
It was supposed to be 10,000, but
apparently it's not true. Yeah. Apparently it's not true. But could it be 5,000?
BYD sold 1,000 in 20 days, something like that.
So to be honest, 5,000 is not an exaggeration. Man.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say BYD, Dolphin, and Atto and Seal combined in 1 year, all of next year, they can sell, let's say, 30,000 or 20,000.
Okay.
Our complete total industry volume.
Yeah.
Let's say is 600,000.
Is it 600,000 a year?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That is how many percent?
30,000.
5%.
5%.
Then you can probably see going towards that. But 5%, I struggle to see a scenario where 30,000 can be sold continuously for 2 or 3 years. I don't know. I don't see EVs still taking off that much. It will continue to be this less than 5% aspect of the market.
Yeah, so the sales volume matters. So, for example, EU is 20%, US is 10%, China is 40%. So China, let's not look at it. EU heavily subsidized; they reach 20%, heavily push. US is not yet pushing for it, but it is at.
It's putting the pieces in place.
Yes, you see a bit of movement now, but they're not pushing it. 10%. We are not yet there. But when you hit 10%, do you see that it will be a permanent fixture already?
No.
You still don't think so?
I don't know. Do you think EVs are going to be 100% in the US? I don't see.
The scenario may happen in China and faster than we think. Because China went from 10% EV to 40% EV in less than a year.
Yeah. In China, of course.
Because they were pushing it.
Yeah.
And then not only by incentivizing, by removing taxes, but also at the same time using market forces to push towards this. Then there was government push towards it also. Which means 100% EV in China is not surprising, if you give it another 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? And if China has 100% EV, then China's little fingers will start coming out and say, hey, bro, EV, bro.
Do it.
Yeah. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I see that happening.
Yeah.
And you know that little thing you say about how Chinese car, you know how Koreans did what Japanese did in less than. It's half the time the Japanese did.
Yeah.
Japanese started in the 50s. No, actually before. Forget about it. 2 bombs happened.
Yeah.
Reset 50s.
Yeah.
60s they were copying shit left, right, center. 70s they're still copying shit left, right, center, but they were doing it right. So it took them 30 years to get things done relatively right. Yeah. 80s is when they starting to take over. 40 years. Koreans? Half of that. Isn't it?
Yeah. By 2000s,
they were already
made all the mistakes. 2010s, they what?
Now they are better product than Japanese. I say this flat out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they are better than the Japanese. I'm saying that their product here that we get apple to apple is better.
Yeah.
Right or not? The Chinese is going to do it faster because it's not just a matter of having an internal market that is much larger, but not just a competitive spirit that the Koreans have, but they have political power. And we feel it. You see it happening here with Cherry, with all these things. Cherry barely investing what the Japanese did in the past. Just setting up 30.
Yeah,
was it 30?
It's like, they already have an Inocom plant there. We're just
buying
a little portion of it.
Yeah. Oh, not even the whole thing.
Not even the whole thing.
They buy a portion of it, set up 30 dealers across Malaysia. Bam! FDI.
Honda Malaysia is like 80 something dealers.
There you go. But Honda Malaysia took time.
Yeah.
It's 60s, 70s, 80s. You know what I mean? Right? It takes time. The Chinese like pop, set up shop. The next day you start business. And you see Malaysia accepted Chinese car in a faster way than we can expect because of Proton. We can always say because of Proton, but Proton lay down. Thailand? How do you explain Thailand then? You get what I mean? How do you explain Australia? Bro, John, what's his name? Bastard. Every day he's talking about Chinese. He's bitching, but he's quite objective sometimes. When he's not trying to be
an asshole.
He's talking about Chinese car every day. The impact is crazy. So if you ask me, I think we will be quite surprised because we are talking about Chinese car in an aspirational mode. I just thinking about it. No, that was not what I imagined in 1989. Asking myself, what would I be doing in year 2020?
Dreaming about a Chinese car.
In the year 2020, I was wearing sarong cooking at home.
Oh, that, yeah. We all trying to remember.
And then the next year, I'm dreaming about Chinese car.
What a weird.
What a weird. I drew flying cars, Sony had Walkman and house appliances, other than just one stupid product, which is called PlayStation.
Hey, but they're working with Honda now.
They have to.
They're going to make EVs together.
No, the question is, why is everyone doing this?
I think because cars and electronics are completely different products.
But you always have electronics in cars.
You do, but it's the way it works is very different. Because in a car, you have so much redundancy, right? You have the ECU that cannot fail, so they build it in a way that cannot
fail. Speak to every Mercedes owners out there.
Should not fail. If it fails in a big batch, you have to do a product recall. So instead of that happening, they must make sure that the chips are of a certain standard and all that.
For a few years.
That's why when you had the chip problem, the shortage.
Now everything is in trouble.
Then everything's wrong. Because they cannot put in a defective chip or a chip that is underperforming into your ECU, into your vital components.
Okay.
And then you have this thing which has a little brain of its own. then you have that thing.
Yeah.
So in cars, it's all different brains talking in
different modules. So now you have to bring all of this.
And then you have the safety systems, which is a different module.
Okay.
So it's becoming more and more integrated. And then you have now the battery module. You have just so much electronics going on. And all of these electronics are just one aspect. You also have the operating system, the software side,
Right.
which is something where if I'm a car company, I'm just like, I can't even do my own website.
I know.
You know?
So you can't even get their website right.
I know. They can't even do that. Yeah. So if they can't even get the basics right, they have to work together with these people.
Okay.
In a way where everything comes together.
So what it tells you is that the taste in cars is different. Now we're moving away from dynamism. It's not about dynamism. It's about tech, incorporation.
But if that was the case, then it would be very easy for Apple to produce a car.
But they fail.
But they failed. Dyson also tried and they failed. Because the car industry is so heavily regulated in a different way. In terms of safety, in terms of...
So to bring both together, you might as well just find people. Like we're seeing Huawei making cars.
But they are doing it with another company.
Yeah. No, they're not making cars per se. They're making the systems for cars, which is actually quite smart because now I don't have to go and fight for a pie. Every pie demands a fork. You get what I mean? So very smart. Then I'm seeing other brands. I can't remember what other handphone brands making cars now.
Yeah, handphone brands, not that many, but Apple is now back in the game.
Back in the game. This time with who?
This time they want to do it themselves. But I think it's a mistake. And you see, the difference between a tech company and a car company, which people don't talk about, is a tech company has probably not killed anyone before. You know what I mean? Their product. How many handphones have killed people?
Exploded, yes.
Exploded but not killed.
Okay.
You know? How many laptops have killed people? Consumer electronics don't kill people. Consumer vehicles kill people in the hundreds of thousands.
Every day.
Every year. You have to live in a reality where you are making...
so the regulation is quite severe.
Not just that, your investors might all pull out if they're not prepared to get their hands bloody. You have to change your entire mindset of what product you're building. And also the production of a car is so much different from...
Tesla apparently has a lot to teach to the car makers, isn't it? He must looked at the manufacturing of all these cars. Like, those are not how things are done. And then he was doing it separately.
But also he took 10 years to make money. Which is, if you're any other company who's already making a healthy profit, you cannot even think about it.
But that's how tech startups are. They burn money like... What's wrong with that, bro? Bro, you're burning money. That's not what you should do.
If you're not burning money in a startup, you're doing it wrong.
Which is weird, dude. That only exists in a post-capitalistic society where money are made too easily by people who are just blinking. I don't know. How many B? Oh, you want 4B? There you go. You know, where else the rest of the world just, I made 20 cents now. I just made 20 cents.
I plucked 10,000 cashew nuts today and destroyed my hands through the acid.
I have $5. $2, there you go. And then there are people blinking, how much I made? I can't count. And only that kind of society can produce a company that burns money for 10 years and says, you know what, let's burn another 5. You know,
let's cut our price by 9,000 today.
But I understand why Tesla does it because it's their strength. It's their core strength. My manufacturing cost, being an American company, is lower than you Chinese company. Wow. Imagine Apple selling cheaper than Samsung.
Yeah, it's unimaginable. But the weird thing is this, Teslas sold in the US are something like double the price of the ones sold in China. That means your manufacturing cost is only low when you do it in China with Chinese workers.
It's true, actually. A lot of people saying decouple from China. I was standing there reading the news and I looked up at the whole everything inside the dome. Every single thing there is from China. Now here's the thing, can I do it here? Can. But it's not going to materialize. You know why? Because everything is going to cost 2 to 4 times more. And by the time you've done it, it's 5 years later. Nobody's... Basically, it's not moving out of China. It's whether you want to do or you don't want to do. You don't want to do, then it's okay.
So what is the point of developing local talent in local industry?
You can't because you don't have the supply chain. I'll give you an example. You know, this dome industry, this dome, comes from Germany. German people go to China, gave the blueprint to a Chinese company, can you make this out? The Chinese company say, it's not too hard, it's just a bunch of metals and canvas plastics and I'll make it. And they make it for them and the knowledge that they gained, they copied it. From there, they make a software program that calculates if I want it bigger. Can the software automatically increase the length and width and of whatever stress point that you have? So now they don't even need to calculate anymore. A salesperson literally, how many meter? Oh, you want 32 meter? 32.5 can. 32.5, the software straight away within the second itself give you every single measurement of every single beam that exists. And all he takes is that will turn it into a production sheet. The production sheet is given to the factory floor. Okay, we are making 151.25 meter. Okay, then we are making 21.45 meter. And then they mark it and it's done. Now here's the thing, can we do it here? Why not if you have the sheet? But you run into one guy here and then you go, this one I can do, this one a bit difficult. I have to modify, so I have to cut. Because my supply from China is 1.5 meter. So this one I can do, this one I can do. Oh, this one cannot, I have to cut, this one I have to cut, this one I have to cut. By the time you finish, just doing the metal itself, it will take you 6 months and cost you 3 times more. Because the guy in China is making out 10 of them this week. You know what I mean? Yeah. This guy in Malaysia is going through the list like as if he's never looked at it before, you know. Like, okay, I think I can do this. I can. How much? The guy is happy to earn 5,000 renminbi per unit. Malaysia 5,000 renminbi, you convert it to Malaysian ringgit, it's 3,000 ringgit. 6 months, 3,000 ringgit. I cannot do. 6 months, 30,000. Also, I cannot do. Maybe 6 months, 300. Okay, 300. You'll be like, what? That's not. Now the thing is 3 times the price, 4 times the price. You see the problem? It's the choice is whether you can do or you cannot do. It's as simple as that. It's the supply chain. Because from everything, you know the plastic material China doesn't have it. It comes from Indonesia.
Oh.
Because China doesn't have petroleum byproduct. So actually it came from elsewhere. But elsewhere cannot produce it. It goes there because the entire production chain is there. So let's say iPhone, your design, you can design in America. But from head to toe, the production chain, from every screw to every software to everything, at the end product comes out. Now you want to make a factory. This factory constitutes this part of the chain. You can move it to India, move. But the problem is then you realize, hey, move it to India is cheaper. So my costs go down, but everything else shot up. Yeah. You see the problem? Yeah. So at the end, you cannot. But yeah, so I don't think anyone can replace them anytime soon.
How did we get here? We're talking about Tesla.
Oh yeah, Tesla. Which is surprising because Tesla can do it cheaper than a fucking Chinese company. Which is like, what the how did they do it? The door. The first thing I did when I look at it, this is a 2-piece door. 2-piece. You see the welding? Where the metal folds in at the sides,
down here.
There's an outside piece and then there's an inside piece. Yeah. That's why it's 1 piece. Wow. Yeah. So that's where they have better. And the Chinese sees what Tesla does, and they were doing also. That's why you look at Chinese cars all 1 piece.
How come the Germans didn't do this first? Aren't they supposed to be the leaders in engineering?
It's not tech, It's not that they don't have the tech. They have to ask themselves, well, we bought the machine 5 years ago and it cost us 50 million euros.
So we got to make 10 billion cars before
Correct.
amortize the cost
Correct.
of changing the machine.
It's not that they cannot or they didn't think about it. No, it's they have already vested so much in the infrastructure they cannot change it. So, but their cost then forces their cost to continuously be high. And then they come in with their environmental thing. Anyway, so Tesla is amazing. I want a Model Y also now.
Coming back to the whole Rafizi situation, I think what should happen is, okay, let the Chinese and let Tesla battle it out in the 100 to 200, 100 to 300.
That means you are pro 100,000 what lah?
I think, I don't know, if you're not going to make, you can't make electric cars cheap. You can't make them below 100k.
But if the Chinese can make it for 60k, why can't they sell it
the
here for
60k ones are shitboxes.
Neta
is a shitbox.
But the Dolphin, it's 80k there,
Okay, Dolphin is like exceptional. But okay, let's say a Dolphin 80k to 100k. Okay, we can't expect to sell tax free.
Forever. No.
Yeah.
For now. Forever, no.
Yeah. So why don't you make some of the existing options, the petrol models, remove the subsidy on petrol, bring down the price of petrol cars? So you give people a choice. You can either go electric and have a bigger startup cost, but later make it back, or can I enjoy a petrol car, but use it more responsibly?
Rafizi came up with the formula so long ago.
It no longer is relevant.
The fact that he cannot carry it through means that there's a lot of obstacles. I don't think it's for a want of not bothering. There are difficulties. Easier said than done. There are some powers to be or had been that you step on their tail, you make your life difficult. Like petrol. You are literally committing suicide if you increase petrol price for election. You get what I mean? Yeah. And you have to have a complete idiot like Badawi who don't mind dying to come around and increase it by 60 cents overnight. Which I think he had to do because otherwise the country would go bankrupt. But it's the dumbest thing ever because that is a suicide. That's a political suicide,
Yeah. 60 cents overnight. I was not around the time.
I was around. I was working. I was just working already. Everybody's salary got a bump because of 60 cents.
Just to compensate?
I got a 200 ringgit bump just because of that. Because it's crazy, man. 60 cents. Come on. Badawi is, I don't know whether he's senile or he's just doing the right thing, turning himself into the bad guy. But I don't expect Rafizi to do stupid shit like that. The guy has a long career in front of him. Why do you want to? And Anwar will not agree to political suicide.
Yeah.
So touching petrol price, it's out of the question. In fact, they are supposed to deliver reducing, but they did. And everybody's holding them against it, which I know I'm not going to hold them against it, but still.
So the only way is to make EVs more appealing.
And hopefully EV squeeze Proton and all these people enough, like the AP. Yeah, you can't take away the AP. What you can do is you can make it so...
Make the business unviable.
Make it so that an AP can barely earn 2,000-3,000 ringgit from a piece. You can... it wasn't me, Rafi. I did Tesla. You get what I mean? So I see what they're trying to do. They are trying to push they're doing the politically maneuver.
Yeah.
Which is, it wasn't me, bro. Tesla can do. I didn't try to kill you. I am not privy to your AP costing with your...
Yeah. And you make the Malaysian public happy because now I can aspire to own a Tesla.
Correct. So that's what I see they're trying to do, because I think the original plan formula, obstacles.
Easy to say but impossible to do.
So why not we do... This is what China had. China had all these little emperors running electric cars, forcing the government to give out... In fact, they earn more money not selling the car by selling the car themselves and then turning them... Correct. Yeah. So China said, you know what, screw this. Disruptor, come here. You think China need Tesla's money, man? They don't. But Tesla comes in, force everyone into emergency mode. They realize, and we are still seeing, they are still operating on emergency mode. BYD's video is an example. BYD is telling me, all of you gonna die, bro. You never read Chinese history. All of you gonna die. There's an external guy here. I can stand up to you. All you can't. So I want your help. We together, brother. We kill him. And then you GRF kill, bro.
Good cat attack. It was ineffective.
Boom. The cat died. But
I was always wondering why China was so happy with Elon Musk coming in.
Because it solved a problem for China. Because China, now the government... It wasn't me! I am not trying, because there are so much vested interest, because you have the head has a committee, under the committee there's a lot of local government, and all this local government has shares. You have to remember, Chinese company all have to have CCP share. Yeah. So they are killing themselves also. But from a point of view of the people who are making things move, it wasn't me. I didn't kill you. I just let Tesla come in because he's bringing in so much money, bro.
Does BYD's shareholders have specifically more power than the rest, or they are just structured in a different way?
In fact, BYD's connection to the CCP is less than other companies like FAW or Cherry, which which are directly invested by local council, bro.
BYD is not.
BYD is not. It's a private company that grew big enough for them to have a CCP director sitting there, paying attention to what they're saying, telling them this is not the direction that the Chinese Communist Party wants to go. Please change the direction. You know, this guy is getting the salary for free. All he does is basically report back, hey, Mr. C, this company, fucking treasonous, bro. They want to list in US, and happen. You go. So basically, it's like this, lah. So basically, Elon Musk is the hammer of the CCP. To hammer who? Not to hammer the Americans. To hammer the Chinese into shape. Because the Chinese companies are shaking their leg, like Proton and Perodua, selling MyV at 60,000. I look at the car, it's like 60,000! What the f is your profit margin? Now, if your profit margin is not healthy, and at around 10,000, something wrong with your headquarter. Why is your little Daihatsu so expensive?
Yeah. And the MyV is not even using a DNGA platform.
There you go!
It's a 13-year-old platform, which is completely amortized the cost.
Correct!
Yeah.
So why is it 60 over 1,000?
Because I can, is the answer.
I look at Axia, because I don't know how cheap they can manufacture something. But I know one thing. Axia, they literally sell at 23. Okay? So if you can sell Axia at 23, you have around 3,000 minimum lah. But because you got to pay your salesman, you got to pay your dealer, right or not?
Yeah.
So that means your actual manufacturing cost for that car is less than 20. If you can manufacture an Axia at 20, your manufacturing cost for a MyV is 20 plus, okay lah, ADAS, plus leather, plus rim, plus...
And it's all plastic, besides the rim.
I give you, it's 35,000. Which means you could have sold at 45,000 and make money. Why is it 60, bro?
Yeah.
Because they can. And they are not worried. You see, they're not worried because every unit they sell is extraordinary income.
Yeah.
So how do you force Perodua to work hard? By allowing Proton to reduce the price. That's why I want to see X50 going down to 70,000.
So the next move is allow car companies to reprice freely.
Correct.
But so, only down, cannot go up.
I mean, it's up to you. If you're competitive, you slap it with the most expensive leather, you sell expensive and people actually buy them, good for you. But here's the thing. If I'm Proton, what I'll do now is I'll take the X50 and I'll strip it empty, give you steel rim, and I'll start the price at 68,900.
Here's the thing, have you ever seen on the road a non-flagship X50? I don't think I've seen it.
You know why? Because they cannot afford.
I think because it doesn't make sense. Anything that is not the flagship is a different engine.
I know, yes.
Yeah, and the price difference is not that
big. But what if you can go down to 60 over?
Then okay.
Let's say you say 68. Who's going to buy a MyV?
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
You realize...
Even Ativa will be like...
Ativa is gone. Yeah. No need to shake. Gone. MyV is like, bro, 60,000 MyV, 68,000.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So what you're going to see is if X50 comes out with an E, MyV is going to come out with an E. MyV E is going to be 40,000. Just like Axia E is 23.
Yeah.
Now that is benefiting the people. Because now you don't have to have a 9-year loan for a MyV. You can have a 6-year, 7-year loan. Yeah. Reducing national debt. You're getting better car. Sure, no ABS.
No ADAS lah. ABS,
no ADAS.
sure got.
Okay, ABS got, but no ADAS. It's okay, no ADAS. But I'm sure the ADAS add 4-5K of their internal costing to a car.
Yeah.
So if you allow them to do that, eventually it will trickle down. You look at how Tesla, you see, Tesla, what they did, GWM and BYD purposely doesn't want to move. You can see the responsibility thing to do is to reduce price rate, but they didn't. So what they did, they do pre-registered. You can see that's a reluctant effort. What did Neta do? This shit, I'm selling at 70,000. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instantaneously. Now, of course, they have to U-turn, right or not? The DSF article out there, they have to, the Horizon, they have to U-turn. But that U-turn already tells you who's the bad guy. Bad guy is the government.
Yeah.
You see that? It works. I think that will work one, can work one. But Rafizi have to lift that 100,000 thing.
Yeah.
If you lift the 100,000 thing, the Dolphin is going to be 90, 85, 90. When it's 85, 90, hey, that's going to eat into X50 and X70, which is already eaten by Cherry. Correct or not? Chery is eating into their market share, right?
Yeah.
Now, Proton is going to strip the X70, strip the X50, and then start selling cheaper. You have a 60 over thousand starting for X50, 80 over thousand starting for X70.
Yeah.
That's going to eat into Perodua. And Perodua is going to have more E's. Axia E, Ativa E.
Everything E.
But at the end of the day, you think about it, you get a kapchais off the road. Because, how much is the kapchai now? 8,000 ringgit.
Yeah.
6
8. Could be 6 or 8. It's between there.
7. How much is the Ativa? Sorry, Axia E?
22?
23.
23, yeah.
It's 3 times. So basically, 3 motorbikes is equivalent to 1 car.
Which has air conditioning.
Not only that, has a bigger CC still, less wheel, but bigger diameter, all in all. So actually, they're earning less per car. So can one.
See, the weird thing is this is the positive version of the future, where everything falls into place. The negative one is all the parties get upset by this.
Yeah.
And then comes in and then back to status
There
quo.
you go. That's the problem. Then you come back to the non-dynamic market where everybody just underhand with the government. Hey, I bribe you a bit lah. You give me.
Which is, in my experience of seeing how things go.
Malaysia tends to be like that.
Not just Malaysia, like every region where corruption is already the culture.
Yeah.
You try to improve it, it will slide down.
One of the biggest problem with India. People are asking why can't India? Well, other than directional issues and whatnot, it's corruption. Look at that bridge. It collapsed twice in 6 years. They haven't even finished building it, and it already collapsed twice. What is wrong with it? It's not design. There's only one answer. You don't need to know the politics of India. It's corruption. The cost is serious. But I think people are not realizing it because in Malaysia now, there's still corruption, you can't deny it. But when up there don't corrupt, you see the effect straight away. Anyway,
Okay, Autophiles signing up.
Autophiles signing up.